Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Now, Claressa Shields, can she carry the torch? Or is she her own worst enemy? Because the reality is, folks, when people are out here debating who's the greatest woman of all time, they mention Laila Ali, they mention Amanda Serrano, they mention Katie Taylor, then they mention Claressa Shields. Whether you like her or not, her name is in the debate because Claressa Shields gets the job done. However, it's not that easy. It's easy to talk about Laila Ali and what she's done. It's easy to talk about Katie Taylor and Serrano. Laila's retired. Taylor's about to retire and join Laila. Serrano has maybe one more fight just to break Christy Martin's record, and she's going to retire. So the four women who we debate over, three of them will be retired. It'll just be Claressa left, and she'll be the one to carry the torch. Can she carry the torch? There was a time where I would say, you know what? Yes, there was a time. Like this right here.
Thank you. She believed that. Always. Hey, that was an excellent fight. Congratulations. You were good. I'm playing with you. For real, you were good with the buzz. Wow. No, I'm telling you, like, I was watching, I'm like, bro, no, she's not doing it. You know, I didn't watch his part. Right. Out of respect, you know, good things. I'm going to watch this, but I ain't watch his part. I ain't see nothing he was doing, so everybody actually was like, I'm like, shit. I think you got some experience, you got the height, you got the accomplishment. But I swear to God, you look so good in there. It was like, bro. She knows. Thank you, Claressa. You got my respect forever. I promise you. And I'm going to cheer for you, whoever you fight against. Thank you, boo. You did that. I did that check in the mail. What? I did not check in the mail, man. You got me messed up, but she don't hit like you. Congratulations. No, but I tell you, she tried to trick me though.
Hey, but I'm telling you, the way I did it though, is exactly I mean, I like that.
Now, this Claressa right here, that Claressa doesn't exist anymore. But that's the kind of person who could carry a torch. Who could carry the torch for women's boxing. You know, and I'm being real with you. That is the kind of woman who can do it. However, what we have right now is not that. What we have now is this.
I was in your way.
Get out the way. I want to get in there. No. World star.
Not right now.
I'll referee. I'm calling her to be referee.
Man, please. That's what we have to deal with now. Now, see, and this sucks. Because I've been following her for a while. A lot of people have come on to Claressa just with the relationship with her and her man. Pat, pools, pat. Brr. But I remember when she was someone who, you know, most of us felt, she's it. Nobody beating her. She is the greatest woman of all time. That's what a lot of us would say. Now, I do know there were people who would hear me say that, who've been following Claressa for a long time. I'm talking about for years now, who have told me, man, when I used to hear you praising her, I was so frustrated listening to you talk. But now we see the way Claressa is acting. It's kind of hard to see her coming out here carrying any torch, you know what I'm saying? Now, let's go ahead and dive into this discussion because we're at the end of an era. And that's just the reality, you know? It's approaching. Before discussing Claressa Shields, it's important to understand what women's boxing could be losing. Now, Laila Ali had her era. You know what I'm saying? La 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 Laila la. She became the face of women's boxing for an entire generation, and many of us still feel she is the face of women's boxing, even though she's been retired for quite some time. She carried one of the most famous last names in sports history. She handled constant media attention. She represented professionalism. She rarely found herself involved in the public controversy, and she retired with her reputation largely intact. Many fans may have disagreed with some of her boxing opinions over the years, but very few question how she carried herself publicly. And that's why to this day, people still say Laila Ali is the face of women's boxing. She's the real GOAT. Then you had the Amanda Serrano era. Her and Katie Taylor kind of overlapped. But Serrano became known for her work ethic, activity, toughness, professionalism. There's that word. Even people who weren't boxing fans respected Amanda. Jiu-jitsu, MMA, boxing, 3 different disciplines. Went on to become very marketable, very respected, and very relatable. She elevated women's boxing without constantly creating controversy. Her reputation was built primarily on whipping your ass. Then you had Katie Taylor, an absolute beast, absolute monster. She may be one of the most respected athletes in boxing history. Not women's boxing, we're talking boxing history. Her brand was built on discipline, faith, humility, preparation, consistency, professionalism. Laila too. Those three women with that word, that synonym, that adjective attached to their names. Professionalism. Now you got to understand, many fighters have won titles, but very few have earned the level of universal respect Katie Taylor enjoys. Now, what makes all this different for big woke Claressa Shields? Well, I mean, she's inside the ring and she's done the business. Multiple division champions, she'll tell you, 5. Gold medals, 2. Undisputed championships, I think it's 3. One of the 19 world titles, one of the most accomplished female fighters ever. Those accomplishments are real, folks. I'm not making this up. However, many observers separate her boxing accomplishments from her public image. That distinction matters because they don't use an adjective to describe her like the word professional. Except for professional fighter, but she doesn't show professionalism. You see, you're going to have a torch handed to you. That means more than just winning fights. You know what I'm saying? Many fans misunderstand what it means to carry a sport. To be the face of any sport isn't only about being the best athlete and winning. It requires a myriad of things. 1 being professionalism, 2 leadership, then public trust, sponsorship appeal, media appeal, stability and consistency, integrity. The face of a sport becomes a person corporations, broadcasters, and casual fans associated with that sport. That responsibility extends beyond championships. This is what I don't think Claressa, her team, and her fan base understand. They just think, oh, she wins, so she should be able to conduct herself how she wants. You know what? That's right. It's her choice. Those are the consequences. The consequences are she's not going to be carrying the torch for women's sports, and she'll never get any sponsorship deals, and she'll just be someone who wins fights. That doesn't make her great, in most people's opinions. And that's why people question whether Claressa can carry the torch. Many critics argue the biggest challenge facing Claressa is not another opponent. We already know Claressa is going to probably whip their ass. But it's perception. Some observers believe constant social media disputes overshadow accomplishments. Public feuds dominate headlines. Drama often receives more attention than victories. The focus shifts away from boxing. Now, whether those perceptions are fair, unfair, if I'm taking it to the stupid, just understand perception often becomes reality in public-facing industries. That's what she's dealing with. I don't know if she realizes it. Now, the social media problem. One criticism frequently made by observers is that Claressa seems to thrive on engagement. The problem with engagement-driven attention is positive attention and negative attention often become mixed together, and that's what we've seen with Claressa. Viral moments can overshadow accomplishments, like the Alicia Baumgartner slap. Controversy becomes part of the brand. Sponsors generally prefer predictability, like I've said on multiple occasions. Major corporate partners, they avoid uncertainty. They don't get involved with people that show a lot of uncertainty. If you display that quality, they're not even going to talk to you. The more unpredictable someone appears, the harder it can become to attract long-term business relationships. In addition, they also look at the relationship the person's in. If you're dating someone, who are you dating? What's the person about? What kind of things are they into? Good reputation, bad reputation. They look at all of this, not just you, the individual, but also who is your partner, with a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. So the fact that she's with Papoose, who happens to still be married, although he's separated, that right there is a deal breaker. So it just makes it difficult for her to try to establish any kind of short or long-term business relationships. Now, I'm telling you, 2027, it's going to be a critical year, like we've been talking about for months on my channel. And one of the biggest questions involves activity. If Claressa takes significant time away from boxing in 2027, and Serrano and Taylor retire, and she's the one who's expected to carry the torch, well, she's not going to be able to. Because if she takes a year away from the sport, that means somebody else is going to pick it up. Her momentum's going to slow. New stars emerge. Public attention shifts elsewhere. And sports history is filled with examples of athletes losing momentum because they stepped away at the wrong time. Not everybody can be a Floyd Mayweather. Can be a Muhammad Ali, a Sugar Ray Leonard. With Claressa Shields, people want her to retire. They got a damn petition on her right now. So it's important for her and her team to understand that the attention economy moves quickly. Fans move quickly. Media moves quickly. Being inactive carries risks. So can Big Goat afford to take a year off? I mean, it just depends on what happens, you know what I mean, before then. If Claressa secures major fights, creates memorable performances, strengthens the public perception, then a break may not hurt as much. I think she needs 2027 to try to do those things, but she sounds like she wants to go a different direction. That's her choice. But if she can secure major fights, create memorable performances, and strengthen the public perception, the break may not hurt as much. You know, if public perception continues declining while activity decreases, the absence may create larger challenges. Out of sight often becomes out of mind. These are the facts. So, what would someone like Claressa need to do to truly carry the torch that was carried by Laila, and I think simultaneously carried by Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano? Well, I think, one, she just got to let the boxing speak. The fastest way to rebuild public trust is often through performance, attitude. You see, fans generally forgive a lot when athletes consistently deliver, but it can't just be in the ring. It's got to be outside the ring. She got to reduce the public drama. That relationship she's in, it is what it is at this point. But that's a tough one, because that creates so much headache for her. It does, man. Because you see, everything is my man, please. Nobody want to hear about the relationship. It is what it is at this point, but fans just want to discuss boxing. The less energy spent on the relationship, the drama, putting in our face, I got a good man, y'all jealous, broke bums. I don't even know if she can get the focus on her if she returns to accomplishments, because there's so much drama surrounding that relationship. That's going to be a tough one for her, to reduce public drama, because the women, 95% of them, they ain't trying to hear that, because they're going to explain to you, hey, she had befriended Remy, and next thing you know, she with her man. We don't respect it. So the public drama, that's a tough one. So she can let the boxing speak, reducing public drama. I don't know if that's possible. Then she's got to build other women up. One thing many iconic ambassadors do well is elevate others, just like Amanda Serrano did when she fought in El Paso. And she let Han and Home go out there and take the main slot. You know what I'm saying? The strongest leaders create opportunities for the next generation. That's what Amanda Serrano has done. That's what Katie Taylor's done. For Claressa Shields, if she's done it, well, then she need to come out and tell us about that, not just talk about papoose. Nah, we don't want to hear about that shit. Then she got to focus on legacy instead of arguments and drama and cutting fingernails and toenails in the gym and out there cooking leafy vegetables and fish and just being what she is. Focus on legacy instead of arguments, man. Worrying about what somebody say and cussing and carrying on, man. Arguments got to disappear. And they do disappear, you know what I'm saying? But the record remains. Championships remain. History remains. So I think if she can somehow there's been so much toxic stuff that's come off Claressa. I mean, I just don't think she can get there. But hey, and I'm not a pessimist, and I'm not trying to be overly negative. I'm just telling you, man, plenty shit starts to stink. But one thing I do know is legacy-focused athletes often age better in the public eye than attention-focused athletes. She's not a legacy-focused athlete, in my opinion. Yes, she has done great things. She's won fights. She's moved up and down weight divisions. Doesn't matter who she fought. She deserves credit for that. But she's more of an attention-focused athlete. Because you sure as hell don't hear her talk too much about what her plans are or anything. Everything is attention, YouTube. She told me she makes $5,000 a day. Then I saw a clip where she said she makes $5,000 a month. So I don't know what the hell she has going on. But I tell you what, man, she said she's the algorithm. How about this? This thing about becoming bigger than the algorithm, social media will reward conflict. They will. But history rewards substance. What's she going to be known for? Let's be real. Just take it from August of last year to right now. What's she going to be known for? When they bring up her name, what's she going to be known for? What, 2 gold medals, 5 weight divisions, 19 world championships? Nah, that ain't what she's going to be known for. She's going to be known for the social media conflict and drama. And being with Papoose, who is a married man, and which I don't care. Women on my channel know I don't care. But that's what she's going to be remembered for. The athletes remembered most fondly often prioritize the second over the first. History rewards substance, not the social media bullcrap. Let me tell you the biggest threat to Claressa's legacy. It's not another fight. It's not losing. It's self-inflicted damage. That's what it is. Many great athletes lose opportunities not because of lack of talent, but because of decision-making, public perception, relationships, reputation. The challenge for Claressa is ensuring her accomplishments remain the dominant story. But she hasn't done that, and that hasn't been the focus of Claressa Shields for quite some time. So you got to understand the other side of the argument. Her supporters are going to argue, man, she received disproportionate criticism. Why don't y'all talk about something else? Why are y'all talking about it? Why are you looking at it? Why are you coming to my channel? Because I put a lot of content out. Go watch the boxing videos and shut the fuck up. We're going to talk about what we want with content creators. Claressa talks about what she wants, right? You out here talking about what you want. You got a YouTube channel, create content. That's what gets me with people. What's wrong with y'all, man? Wake up every morning and have a big bowl of dumbass for breakfast. Try to tell somebody what to say. Go floss and brush your teeth and wash your stinking cockhole. Nobody makes anyone watch the videos content creators put out. Nobody makes them watch it. Just like nobody makes anybody watch Claressa Shields content. So her supporters, in my opinion, not all, but majority, they're all over the place. Talking about her accomplishments are underappreciated. No, they're overshadowed by her toxicity and drama and bad attitude. Talking about she's carried the women's boxing for years. She deserves more credit than she receives. That's not how that shit works. But those viewpoints do exist. But this is why the discussions around her are so polarizing. But it's more to it, like I said. It's not just about winning fights. You got to look at the whole picture when you're talking about someone like Claressa Shields. So at the end of the day, if Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano, and Laila Ali represent three different eras of women's boxing, then Claressa Shields may find herself standing alone as the most recognizable active female boxer in the world. You know, that's a big deal. That's a lot of responsibility. That's like you being in an office and there's 4 different sections and there's a manager in each section. You just got to worry about your little section. The other 3 worry about the other 3 sections. But if something happened to those 3 and you're the only manager there, now you got 4 sections to be responsible for until other people get up to speed and they can go on and fill some of those vacancies. There's a lot of responsibility that gets put on you. I know about that shit firsthand. That's why I give y'all these analogies, because I've fucking seen it happen. So Claressa Shields is going to have a lot of responsibility put on her shoulders. But I've also seen where you'll have several managers and 2 or 3 of them, for whatever reason, are no longer available, and you have one manager there in position, and they're not the most qualified, and they bring somebody else up to come and run all 4 sections. Because the one person they have there who you thought would be maybe some continuity, they can't get it right. So they bring somebody else up. Sometimes it's someone externally is brought inside. They don't do insourcing. And with Claressa Shields, that's what I think is happening. That's what I think is going to happen if she don't get her stuff together. But I think so much damage has been done. That torch may be there. She may pick it up, but I think it may end up going into Caroline DeBall's hands. I don't know about Alicia Baumgartner, but I think it may end. You got Tierra Brown. I think that torch is going to end up in another woman's hands. I thought it could have been Shadesha if she comes back to boxing, maybe. But I really think that the Tierra Browns, she can keep dominating, grow her profile. That torch could just go and slip right out of Claressa Shields' hands and fall right there in somebody like Tierra Brown's hand. And that's just being real, man. It's not about whether Claressa has the talent. She has the talent. We all know that. But can she evolve from champion to ambassador of women's boxing and succeed Laila, succeed Katie Taylor, succeed Serrano? Because carrying that torch requires more than belts. And you definitely can't have a bad attitude and be confrontational, full of controversy and drama. It requires someone becoming, I'll put it to you this way. In my opinion, can the whole sport rally behind Claressa Shields? If the sport can rally behind her, then she has something. Right now, the whole sport's not rallying behind her. And I do think when Serrano bounces, Katie Taylor bounces, if Claressa takes that year off next year, that's one of the worst decisions she could have made. But if she stays on and keeps fighting, you're going to see where she's going to struggle to carry that torch. Unless she overhauls her whole program, even the person she's dating. And like I tell you, I ain't trying to jump in their goddamn bedroom. Could care less what she does. I'm just talking about when I'm looking at who's going to be the face of women's boxing. She will never get there under her current setup. She will never get there. That's not Hood Champion wishing bad on her. I am telling you, she will not get there because she needs to be someone to inspire, motivate, and for people to admire her and want to be like her and be marketable and likable, have leadership qualities and try to elevate the other women in the sport. These are things she does not do and does not have. Anyway, can she carry the torch or is she her own worst enemy? The future of women's boxing can hang in Claressa's hands. What's she gonna do with it? What's she gonna do? Gotta wait and see, right? Y'all keep cool in the breeze.